So I made a record with one of my songwriting heroes, Edward Caspell. I collaborated with some filmmaker friends of mine to do stuff that we had always wanted to do, and I made a record with my dad. And we did one show in London when the record came out, but a lot of people thought that when I made that record, it was like, oh, it was this cute thing. You must have grown up singing these folk songs with your dad and stuff, and nothing could have been further from the truth. My parents got divorced when I was a baby, and I barely knew my dad until I was in my 20s, and then music really helped bring us together, and me touring and being in his city really often sort of helped us create a real relationship, an adult relationship. And so we decided to do this record of covers together, and I was the one who suggested the song. I had just discovered Richard Thompson and his incredible songwriting. He's one of those, like Robin Hitchcock, he's just one of those like really underappreciated genius songwriters of our time. And this song is, it's like not my usual fare, and he plays it, he's a sort of guitar finger picker. And it was hard to translate to the piano, especially because one of the beautiful things about the song when he plays it on guitar is that it sounds like a motorcycle. It's this really evocative, delicious, sort of repetitive sound. And the nice thing about a piano is it sort of looks like a motorcycle. You're sitting at it. I just realized that the other night. So here it is. Said Red Molly to James, that's a fine motorbike. Well, a girl could feel special on any such like. Said James to Red Molly, my hat's off to you. It's a Vincent Black Lightning, 1952. And I've seen you on the corners at the cafes, it seems. Red hair and black leather, my favorite color scheme. And he pulled her on behind and down to Box Hill they did ride. Said James to Red Molly, here's a ring for your right hand. But I'll tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. I've fought with the law since I was 17. I'd robbed many a man to get my Vincent machine. Now I'm 21 years and I might make 22, and I don't mind dying, but for the love of you. And if fate should break my stride, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Come down, Red Molly, called Sergeant McCrae, for they've taken young James 80 for armed robbery. Shotgun blast in his chest left nothing behind. Oh, come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. When she got to the hospital, there wasn't much left. He was running out of road, was running out of breath, but he smiled to see her said, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Said James, in my opinion, there's nothing in this world beats a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. Now Nortons and Greaveses and Indians won't do. No, they don't have a soul like a Vincent 52. And he reached for her hand and he held. He reached for her hand and he slipped her the keys. He said, I've got no further use for these. I see angels on aerials in leather and chrome, swooping down from heaven to carry me home. Kiss and died. And he gave her his Vincent to ride. Thank you. Oh boy. Coin-operated boy sitting on the shelf. He is just a toy, but I turn him on and he comes to life. Automatic joy, that is why I want a coin-operated boy. Made of plastic and elastic, he is rugged and long-lasting. Who could ever ask for more? Galore, many shapes and weights to choose from. I will never leave my bedroom. I will never cry at night again. Wrap my arms around him and pretend. Coin-operated boy, all the other real ones that I destroy. Cannot hold a candle to my new boy, and I'll never let him go, and I'll never be alone, and I'll never let him go, and I'll never be 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 alone. Not with my coin-operated boy. This bridge was written to make you feel smitten, or with my sad picture of girl getting better. Or can you extract me from my plastic fantasy? I didn't think so. bet you $1 billion that I'll never love you. And will you persist even after I've kissed you goodbye for the last time? Will you keep on trying to prove it? I'm dying to lose it. I'm losing my confidence. I want to, 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 I want Coin-operated boy. When you clap, it makes me feel less lonely, which makes the song not work. If I had a star to wish on for my life, I can't imagine any, oh fuck you, if life would be his match. I can even fuck him in the ass, you passive-aggressive Brighton fuckers. Coin-operated boy. He may not be real experienced with girls, but I know he feels like a boy should feel. Isn't that the point? That is why I want a coin-operated boy with a pretty coin-operated voice, saying that he loves me, that he's thinking of me, straight and to the point. I can really do what I want. That is why I want a coin-operated boy. Fuck you! So, I mentioned earlier it was a very rough stretch of years between the last album I put out and this one. I don't consider any of it bad. It was just a real life. And the Kickstarter happened. My best friend was very sick. And Neil and I moved to Boston, Massachusetts, my hometown, so that we could spend so that we could be with him while he got chemo, and that was very rough on our relationship. Everything was a bit dismal, and I sort of abided by him. You know, the book came out. I had an abortion, which was really difficult, but a choice that I felt like was the right choice to make at the time. It doesn't mean it was easy. And I I dealt with a lot of, bullying and hate on the internet as usual, and I found myself retreating further and further away from the things that usually fed me and made me feel like I was in my community. And then I got pregnant and decided to keep this child, and 2 months before he was born, my best friend died. They were this close to meeting each other, and it was brutal. And it was brutal to be in heavy grief when giving birth. And right around the same time, I started my Patreon, and I sort of like reclaimed this thing that I missed about the internet, just like having a good community of people around me without a bunch of noise. And this was the first song that I wrote after I launched the Patreon, and I don't know, it was maybe 2 months after the baby was born, was my friend Anthony's memorial, and a mutual friend asked if I would play some music, and he asked me to play a cover song that Anthony would have liked, but I also was like, oh, I'm gonna be sitting at a piano. If I don't write a song for him right now, I may never do it. And I was in Boston alone with the baby, and it was that same thing where I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna do this, but I waited for him to fall asleep. I sat down at my piano, and I had a good starting point. My friend Anthony, who was like my, like an ersatz father to me, a mentor, he taught me everything about Buddhism and yoga and mindfulness and unconditional love and compassion. But he also had a weapon collection. And I was like, dude, it doesn't square. But he had been abused as a child. He was afraid. He felt like he had to protect himself. And it was something that I eventually learned to just do a dance with. And so this. I have never liked the box of knives you said was a paradox because you're kind but withstood a childhood that robbed you blind of love that was safe, and so you learned to fight. I have never liked the box of knives you said was a paradox because you're kind but withstood a childhood that robbed you blind of love that was safe, and so you learned to fight. Like the box of knives you said was a paradox because you're kind but withstood a childhood that robbed you blind of love that was safe, and so you learned to fight. What do I do with this stuff? It seems like yesterday I called you up. I had a terrible case of the past. I didn't know how to get it off. I didn't know how to get it off. And you took your machete and you sliced through the vines that wrapped around me. And you said, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll just keep on cutting. It's worth a little blood to get your arms free. I have never liked the box of knives you said was a paradox because you're kind but withstood a childhood that robbed you blind of love that was safe, and so you learned to fight. Yesterday I was in love. I kept on covering the soft spots up. I didn't know how to get them off. I didn't know how to get them off. And you took your machete and you hacked through the wood and the surrounding. And you said, I don't know where I'm going, so I'll just keep on cutting from the dead things piled up behind me. And you took your machete and you carved out a path to my chest, and you said, see, there's nothing not worth keeping. You've felt so many beatings, but nothing's gonna work if you believe me. Nothing's gonna work if you believe me. I have never liked the box of knives you said was a paradox because you're kind but withstood a child to the rocks. You blind of love that was safe and so you learned to fight. And I have never liked the box of knives you said was a paradox because you're kind but withstood a child to the rock. You blind of love that was safe and so you learned to fight. And I have never liked the box of knives. I took it to the ocean side the day you died. I stood out on the dock no matter how hard I tried. I couldn't drop it in and I collapsed and cried. What do I do with this stuff? It seems like yesterday you were alive, and it's as if you never really died. And it's as if you never really died. And you took your machete. You said, boo, guess who, but seriously, beauty. You said, see, you get the turn now, don't you? It's not a will or won't you? Can't keep making symbols out of nothing. And I took your machete and I sliced off your head. You laughed and you said, see, it's just like antimatter. It's Dumbo's magic feather. You don't need me here to cut you. 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 You don't need me here to cut you free. Exhibit A. We are friends in a sleeping bag, splitting the heat. We have one filthy pillow to share, and your lips are in my hair. Someone upstairs has a rat that we laugh at, and people are drinking and singing Bad Scarborough Fair on a ukulele tear. Exhibit B, well, we found an apartment. It's not much to look at. A futon on a floor, torn off desktop for a door. All the decor's made of milk crates and duct tape. And if we have sex, they can hear us through the floor. But we don't do that anymore. I lay there wondering, what is the matter? Is this a matter of worse or of better? You took the blanket, so I took the bedsheet. But I would have held you if you'd only let me. Exhibit C, look how quaint and how quiet and private our paychecks have bought us a condo in town. It's the nicest flat around. You picked the mattress and had it delivered, and I walked upstairs, and the sight of it made my heart pound, and I wrapped my arms around me. And I stood there wondering, what is the matter? Is this a matter of worse or of better? You walked right past me and straightened the covers, but I would still love you if you wanted a lover. And you said all the money in the world won't buy a bed so big and wide to guarantee that you won't touch me in the Exhibit D, now we're both mostly paralyzed. Don't know how long we've been lying here in fear, too afraid to even feel. I find my glasses and you turn the light out, roll off on your side like you've rolled away for years, holding back those king-size tears. And I still don't ask you, what is the matter? Is this a matter of worse or of better? You take the heart failure, I'll take the cancer. I've long stopped wondering why you don't answer. Exhibit E, you can certainly see how fulfilling a life from the cost and size of stone of our final resting home. We got some nice ones right under a cherry tree. you and me lying the only way we know, side by side and still and cold. And I finally ask you, what was the matter? Was it a matter of worse or of better? You stretch your arms out and finally face me. You say, I would have told you if you'd only asked me, if you'd only asked me, if you'd only asked me. Thank you. Are you hanging in there? This one's pretty good though. It's like it's got a lot of dark and light, and I usually give this song a long introduction, but it's enough to say that I went to my Patreon a couple of months ago. And I gave myself the challenge again of writing a song in a day and recording it the day after. And I asked the people on my Patreon to just tell me what they were afraid of. And 2,000 people answered. And it fucking took me 7 hours to read all of their comments about all of the shitty things that were happening in their life and that they were afraid of. And I just noticed there was so much similarity, but also sometimes on opposite sides of the fence. It was like, you know, I think the song explains it, but it was a really incredible feeling all of a sudden to be like, oh, this is like what songwriters used to do. You know, I'm not talking back in the 50s and 60s, but like way back in the day. You know, thousands of years ago, musicians, there wasn't a whole lot of ego in it. You did this job for your community. And I found myself really thinking that when I wrote this song, as I tried to just take all of these things that people were going through and sort of combine them into one thing. And the thing that actually got to me is there were two comments that stood out. One was this guy who commented, Amanda, I joined your Patreon because I wanted to be happy. And I was like, wrong one. I spent like 20 minutes procrastinating finding the most lighthearted Patreon page of another artist I could find. I wound up finding this guy who made children's songs about math, and I sent the guy the link, and I was like, give your money to that person. And this other guy commented like, oh, I'm not afraid of anything anymore. I just remember what Bill Hicks said. And I was like, oh, I know you. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about one of Bill Hicks's greatest monologues that he gave during one of his stand-up shows in the 90s before he died, talking about how life is just a ride. And that made sense of everything, so this is what it turned into. Everyone's too scared to open their eyes up, but everyone's too scared to close them. Everyone's frightened, they don't know what's coming, but everyone's frightened of knowing. Everyone's reading the rules of engagement, and everyone's starting to doubt them. Everyone's reaching to put on a seatbelt, but this kind of ride comes without them. I want you to think of me sitting and singing beside you. I wish we could meet all the people behind us in line. The climb to the crest is less frightening with someone to clutch you. But isn't it nice when we're all afraid at the same time? And it's just a ride. It's just a ride. And you've got the choice to get off anytime that you like. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. The alternative's nothingness. Might as well give it a try. Everyone's terrified that they'll be justified by the collapse that will happen. Everyone's placing their bets just in case the whole thing's a profound disappointment. Everyone's trying to stay on the side where the water's just boiling more slowly. Frogs in a pot, well, that's one thing I've got. At least some of the frogs in here know me. I want you to think of me sitting and singing beside you. The chain pulls us up and we know that we're all gonna die. Blur and the noise of the screaming can blind and distract you. But isn't it nice when we all can scream at the same time? And it's just a ride. It's just a ride. You've got the choice to get off any time that you like. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. The alternative's nothingness. Might as well give it a try. And as we all go down, and as we all go round, and as we switch from side to side, everything is gonna be alright. Everyone's getting real scared to come out, because coming out's going down badly. Feel the city breaking and everybody's shaking, and I just want someone to hold me. Some are too scared to let go of their children, and some are too scared now to have them. Suicide, homicide, genocide, man, that's a fuck ton of sides you can choose from. I want you to think of me sitting and singing beside you. I wish we could meet all the people who get left behind. The ride is so loud it can make you think no one is listening. But isn't it nice when we all can cry at the same time? And it's just a ride. It's just a ride. And you've got the choice to get off any time that you like. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. The alternative's nothingness. Might as well give it a try. And as we all go down, and as we all go round, and as we pitch from side to side, everything is gonna be just fine. Everyone you love is gonna die. Hopefully this song can come remind you that it's just a ride. It's just a ride. From the sister you miss to the father you don't want to write. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. From the lover who left to the one that you're frightened to find. It's just a ride. It's just a ride. From the baby you lost to the one that you're growing inside. Come on out, darling, and don't you cry. It's just a ride. Okay, we don't have time for the encore nonsense, so I'm gonna leave you on a fucking actual happy note. 'Cause that's just too much, man. This is a song about the ukulele. I love the fucking ukulele. It's a great thing. Sid Vicious played a 4-string Fender bass guitar and couldn't sing, and everybody hated him except the ones who loved him. A ukulele has 4 strings, but Sid did not play ukulele. He did smack and probably killed his girlfriend Nancy Spungen. If only Sid had had a ukulele, maybe he would have been happy. Maybe he would not have suffered such a sad end. He maybe would have not done all that heroin. Instead, he maybe would have sat around just singing nice songs to his girlfriend. So play your favorite cover song, especially if the words are wrong. 'Cause even if your grades are bad, it doesn't mean you're failing. Do your homework with a fork and eat your Fruit Loops in the dark, and bring your Etch-a-Sketch to work and play your ukulele. Ukulele small and fearful, ukulele brave and peaceful. You can play the ukulele too, it is painfully simple. Play your ukulele badly, play your ukulele loudly. Ukulele banish evil, ukulele save the people. Ukulele gleaming golden from the top of every steeple. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 30 whacks, then gave her father 31. It left a tragic puzzle. If only they had given her an instrument. Those fucking idiots had lost the plot completely. See what happens when you muzzle a person's creativity and do not let them sing and scream. And nowadays it's worse, 'cause kids have automatic handguns, at least in America. It takes about an hour to teach someone to play the ukulele, about the same to teach someone to build a standard pipe bomb. It's pretty obvious. So play your favorite cover song, especially if the words are wrong. 'Cause even if your grades are bad, it doesn't mean you're failing. Do your homework with a fork and eat your Fruit Loops in the dark, and bring your flask of Jack to work and play your ukulele. Ukulele, thing of wonder. Ukulele, wand of thunder. You can play the ukulele too in Brighton and down under. Play and sink and play Jacques Brel and Eminem and Neutral Milko. Tell the children, crush the hatred. Play your ukulele naked. If anybody tries to steal your ukulele, let them take it. Imagine there's no music. Imagine there are no songs. Imagine that John Lennon wasn't shot in front of his apartment. Now imagine if John Lennon had composed Imagine for the ukulele. Maybe people would have really got the message. You may think my approach is simple-minded and naive, like if you want to change the world, then why not quit and feed the hungry? But people for millennia have needed music to survive, and that is why I promised John that I will not feel guilty. So play your favorite Beatles song and make the subway fall in love. They're only 1995, that isn't lots of money. Play until the sun comes up and play until your fingers suffer. Play LCD sound system songs on your ukulele. Quit the bitching on your blog and stop pretending art is hard. Just limit yourself to 3 chords and do not practice daily. You'll minimize some stranger's sadness with a piece of wood and plastic. Holy fuck, it's so fantastic. Playing ukulele, eat your homework with a fork and do your Fruit Loops in the dark and bring your Etch-a-Sketch to work, your flask of Jack, your vibrator, your fear of heights, your Nikon lens, your mom and dad, your disco stick, your soundtrack to Karate Kid, your Ginsu knives, your rosary, your new Rebecca Black CD, your favorite room, your Bowie knife, your stuffed giraffe, your new glass eye, your sousaphone, your breakfast tea, your Nick Cave tapes, your giving tree, your ice cream truck, your missing wife, your will to live, your urge to cry. Remember, we're all gonna die. So play your ukulele. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you so much. Can I have one more round of applause for my wonderful support act, Andrew O'Neill? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Brighton. You've been wonderful. We'd like to thank the Brighton Festival for having us. It's been a beautiful night. Thank you all for coming. Please buy our stuff. It's how we support ourselves. Andrew's written a beautiful book. It's in the lobby. And we hope to be back and see you soon. Thank you for bearing with us tonight. Good night.